Okay, hopefully this is the one that works. So our group did the Valley High Hotel, which, well, it is what it sounds like. Okay. Okay. So I'm just gonna run through like 6 things that we fixed that we did in a prior submission for the one of the drafts, and let's get started. So first off, we did the contrast. So there were some issues with the contrast that we had to adjust in the old site, and they look much better in the new one. So we adjusted the color contrast in order to meet the WCAG 2.1 requirements for a contrast ratio of 7:1. Previously, there was an issue with the contrast which made it difficult to see with full clarity, and by adjusting the web page structure and the color of the text in the background, we were able to fix the issue. However, some of the color contrast had to do with the central logo with a large text, so the ratio only had to be adjusted to 4.5 to 1. That was just keeping in mind what the requirements were for. But um, as you can see in the left side is the old site, on the right side is the new site, and you can see through the wave extension that there are some issues with the contrast in some of the text with the background. And the one I was pointing out was just the one in the middle, which the light brown and like the other light brown doesn't quite uh, meet the requirements, even though it is big text. So yeah, on the new site, you can see that there are no issues whatsoever, and so the contrast has been fixed. Second, we did the heading structure. We adjusted the heading structure in order to organize the content to make sense sequentially and completely. For example, we added things to do in order to give the user a more complete picture of what the hotel offers on the homepage. Before, there was only H3 and H2 as a heading on the old site, but on the new site, it offers a larger range of information while remaining well structured within headings from H2 to H6. That just goes to say that it definitely appears more structured, and we've included more information, and those uh, going together in sync um, work to make it a better site. And I'll show that here. On the left, we see that there's only 3 heading structures here, um, which is fine. But by adding more information, we need to make sure that the structure also remained strong or stronger. And so if you can see that there, it goes from H2 to H6, and you have subtopics like rooms, about, and contact, and those all um, are structured through headings in a constructive and sequential way. Another thing we fixed was alt text for some images on the old site. We added alt text to images which had not been done before. For example, in the new site, our decorative images have a null alt text, which makes it easier for users with screen readers to understand. Um, and the old site did not contain any alt text for these images. Yeah, and I will show that here. On the left, the old site, we see that there are a lot of errors with alt text because we can see that these images are decorative. However, they are missing a null alt text. And on the right, we do have a couple pictures here that are decorative, and there are no errors with the alt text because we made them null. Additionally, we did changes to the navigation. We simplified the navigation bar in order to minimize the amount of pages a user needs to visit to get the information they require. Before, the old site had a small page for each of the 8 nav links, and now the information would be consolidated into only 4. They are also ordered to be more logically fluid, and the old site was not. As we can see here, it goes, homepage, rooms, rates, reservations, amenities, things to do, ski tuning, location, right? And which we um, made it to be a more consolidated version of just rooms, location, and amenities, because some of those pages can go into one another. Um, yeah, and we made it so that they flowed together a little bit better, so that they weren't kind of jumping around. So it makes more sense more logically for a user to go rooms to location to amenities. We also added labels. So for the forms on the new site, they now have labels that describe what the user should input. In the old site, there weren't forms that contained labels, which is not as helpful. And the labels help describe the purpose of each input field, which is it's the criterion for WCAG 2.4.6. And yeah, if you look on the right, we can see under check availability, there are labels for the month, the day, and the year, and same for the checkout, and then for adults and kids, that kind of thing. That's just to kind of add to accessibility for input fields. We also added legends, and we added a legend field in order to add information, context to informative context to the search for rooms function. The legend around the check availability gives the user an intuitive idea that the following input fields are used for finding information on the room availability within a specific range of dates. The old site did not contain legends of any kind and did not give any intuitive insight to the user. And as we see here in the check availability portion, there is a legend which, it kind of makes it more obvious to the user that to get this information, this is the place that you want to be. And that kind of goes in sync with the labels as well, makes it more intuitive for the user to search for the specific information in the format that works well with the site. Um, and yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching, and good night.